Hello, everybody. I'm Kate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're going to build stuff today. Oh, no, I don't have my notes. Kate, what are we building?
I'm going to build an app on a website that lets you basically make an event and say these are the times the event can happen. And then you can
Like
send
a
a
calendar.
link to, kind of, yeah. But you'll send the link to all your friends and they'll choose which of the times work for them. So if you have like 4 or 5 people trying to organize something, you can say like, okay, these 5 dates and times work. What works for other people?
Oh, what do you know? This actually sounds useful.
I hope so, because this is a conversation that happens every time I try to get events going with a couple friends. We have
So
to go
we're
back and
going.
forth over the times a lot.
So what are you going to call it? Time picker?
Sure. I hadn't thought of a name. Time Picker is great.
Kate's time picker, just to make sure everybody can recognize it. All right, let's build it.
See if I can get my screen shared.
I see you are on a Mac. What kind of a terminal are you using?
iTerm 2.
iTerm 2. I just discovered that the default Mac terminal is terrible to work on with Claude because you cannot paste screenshots in there, which means you can't tell Claude what he did wrong. So iTerm 2 is the way to go.
Huh. All right, so I'm going to create a repository called Time Picker. GitHub. So now I've got a repository going. I'm going to create a sprite.
We're creating a sprite on fly.o, and if my memory serves me correctly from last time, sprite is a magical thing that launches an instance for you where you can build stuff. In our last video, we talked about how to install Sprite. It is all nice and easy from the fly.io website that just gives you the Sprite command that lets you run stuff. And now we are in Claude. I thought you were going to build it by hand. You're going to make Claude do it.
No, I'm just going to talk to Claude about what I'd like him to build for me instead.
See, we used to think we were so special because we knew how to write code. Kate, have you noticed we're not special anymore?
Yep. And now I'm adding an SSH key that is on my Claude machine.
I can't see it. Can you make your GitHub window bigger? All right, we're going to set up deploy keys to let Claude send push stuff to SSH. I mean, push stuff to GitHub over SSH.
All right. So now I've got Claude over here. Claude is in the directory. We have this set up. I guess we should probably describe to Claude what we want to build. And
what do we want to build?
In the text editor here for my first prompt before I paste it in.
Okay, I see we are going to be using Ruby on Rails. Hopefully it doesn't go off the rails, and Postgres for the database. I like they're both open source, they're free, and they're easy for Claude to work with. I don't know Ruby. I've never done Ruby. I'm curious what's going to happen here. I want to create a web app that allows people on the internet to create an event. An event will be something that happens at a time and a place. We want the user who creates the event to be able to list multiple dates and times that the event can take place. They should also be able to add questions to the event. Once they create an event, they should be able to have a link to the event that can be shared with their friends. They will have one or more friends. Their friends should be able to select the date and time combinations that work best for them. This should be a multi-check system, not just one option. Okay, so I can select 3 o'clock is good and 2 o'clock is good and noon on Friday. Those are all great. The friend should be able to add their name as a respondent to this. They should also be able to answer the poll questions. The event page should update to incorporate the information about who can attend at various dates and times. Okay, so the poll questions ask B for chicken. We can figure out exactly the preferences, the times, and we can micromanage the event to death. This sounds wonderful. When selecting the date, allow the UI to be modern and good, because old bad UIs are not good. Please write a research.md file with information about the approaches and trade-offs you're considering for this project. And a plan.md with your best guesses about how you'll implement this. Once you've done this, don't write any code yet. I'll review the files and give additional input.
Let's see what Claude makes of that.
Now, Claude should have a plan mode somewhere that forces it to do just that. But this is...
It's telling me the tip. Use plan mode to prepare for a complex request before making changes. Press Shift plus Tab twice to enable. Maybe I'm using it wrong.
You can't be using it wrong. You have been doing this for 15 years. You do everything right. That's the truth. Is that correct?
I actually have at least 19 years of general AI experience.
Of course you do, in particular with ChatGPT and Claude.
ChatGPT, Claude, I've done them all since like 2001-ish.
Yeah, I've been doing them since 1982.
Wow, you must really know how to use the plan mode then. That's why you knew.
That is why I knew. First grade Soviet Union, Claude. What would you like to accomplish? I was like, let's bring down the Berlin Wall.
All right, let's go look at the files.
Let's look at the files. What kind of files did it create?
It made the research.md, which is what I am reading right now, and it made a plan.md.
Okay, so we see some key architecture decisions. Now, I see React/Vue. That's the front end. It's planning on using.
No, it's giving me the option between the two, and it's recommending Hotwire here, which is in Rails 8 by default. I think we're gonna go with that.
Okay.
But it does give us a second thing where it says we could use React or Vue.
Yeah, in Python, it tells me to use Vue. In Ruby, it makes sense to use the Ruby thing, but it's usually pretty safe to go with his recommendation if you don't have any specific ideas. No, she's gonna argue with Claude. Do not argue with Claude. Don't you know it hurts his feelings and then he starts hallucinating?
I'm agreeing with him on his second option because I want to allow the creator to edit and manage the event.
All right, authentication preferences. That makes sense. So is it going to be authenticated?
No, it'll be that when you create the event, you have a special token stored in your cookies so that it'll allow you to edit it, manage it, and then when you give the link to a respondent, they can answer things. If you close your browser, delete your cookies, you'll probably lose it. So it's a pretty good middle ground.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, hey, Claude actually picked option B. Never mind. Good job, Claude. I thought it always picked option
You should tell him he's a good Claude. He likes praise.
I am happy with that.
Caitlin, I have never known you to be completely happy with all technical decisions a person made. I don't think this has ever happened to me. You always pick on something. What happened?
I think it's doing an okay job.
This is hurting my
Plus,
feelings.
plus Claude puts me in more manager mode instead of like team lead mode. So I'm usually more like, yeah, that'll work. Go ahead.
All right, let's do it. All right, so you're having Claude check in your stuff, and there's a checkpointing system for the disk that is on a sprite. It's like a save point in video games, right?
Yeah. So I'm basically just like commit this stuff to GitHub, also use the checkpointing system, but otherwise go build it. So we'll see what this looks like when we're done.
Sounds fantastic. Now we're gonna let them think.
What do you think of my AI workflow as somebody who's been doing it since 1982?
Your AI workflow is surprisingly old school, sort of, a step away from when we were doing AI on punch cards. I love your old school black background terminal. I am a little impressed. You are using a human text editor instead of VI. But to
I
each
wanted to blow it up big and let people see.
it up big sounds like a good idea. One day I'm going to get you into VS Code or Cursor. It'll happen.
I have VS Code. I even use it occasionally. I put Vim mode on it.
I put Vim mode on my VS Code too, but please don't tell anybody. So this is what programmers do all day now.
I imagine so.
Give instructions, sit back, and twiddle our thumbs. That's been a dream since the 90s. Unfortunately, what I see now, there are pipelines so you can have 18 agents running and executing your instructions at the same time.
Yeah. I have not yet gotten into that. I've seen some of it with Brian organizing AIs that do stuff. But it's got to be interesting to have like an AI writing the code and then another one checking it out to like QA it.
I have done things like that some months ago before I discovered those kinds of platforms, where I would have different like directories with different checkouts of the GitHub repo. And I'm like, all right, you front end, you back end, you go test. Okay, this got checked in. I had like this all-nighter with 3 different agents kind of bouncing between them and getting them to fix things.
And how did you like it?
Oh my God, I had the time of my life. I did not go to sleep for a reason. It wasn't because I had a deadline. I just couldn't. Okay, I'm going to challenge you. I see you have 2 terminals open. Wait, what just happened?
Yeah.
Why is your second terminal doing stuff?
I just wanted to look at the tree, which, wow, it's got a bunch of stuff in there.
It does, doesn't it?
What are you challenging me with?
Well, why don't you start up another Claude, have him look at the document, and begin building the test suite with Puppeteer. I mean, not Puppeteer, Playwright. The tool that is the modern day Selenium that tests your application from the front end.
Can you do this in this have them both running in the same directory? They're not going to smash each other's work?
Tell them not to smash the other one's work. Tell them to not touch the code, just build a test suite in another file. I mean, they're usually pretty polite, unless you get them confused. And if I screw it up for you, all the more fun for both of us.
All right, this will be a fun thing to see how much it just destroys everything.
And then, eventually, your AI use graduates to where your AIs are starting finger pointing. I have had to settle more than one AI squabble. Okay, and now we start the fun part. Claude looks so smart while he is building stuff. And then he announces success and nothing ever works the first time. But look at this. Time picker is alive. Can you make the time picker bigger? All right. Time zones are good. Yeah. Selecting
Also,
time.
I'm not sure how important time zones are, because if you're scheduling a get together with somebody,
You should just.
presumably you're going to be in the same time zone.
Yeah, but bro, I mean, it could be an online get
No.
together.
All right. This is not terrible. I'm not sure I like that all of the minutes are here.
This is not terrible in the same sense that your baby isn't ugly.
A lot of clicks.
Yes, the time needs to use a better pattern. Now, one thing you can do is ask Claude to propose how to simplify the UI and complain about the clicks. You don't have to tell him what to do. All right, we're making a poll. Oh, no. I see your tester is still building tests. Maybe we should have had him build a limited smoke test suite before he started banging it all out, so he could actually be useful. But soon enough, we're going to have a test suite for the system.
Give him a couple of tasks to do. I had intended in the note to write a thing like, okay, now go and check through your work, because most of the time I hit buttons that don't go places, that don't work, events that aren't working. Oh, I forgot to make a controller for that. So I've been meaning on these kind of like one shot uh, things to make it go do that.
And look at that.
But I missed it.
Your tester has found a bug, and I think he's done. He told you how to run tests, and npm playwright test will now go through the system and find everything. So now you can tell the other Claude to go run the test suite that was created. And another thing you can now do is create a file where you can let them talk to each other. There's a variety of ways you can do that. Something as simple, as a file where they write their comments and have instructions about how to stay out of each other's way.
Yeah, it just dropped the time zone thing altogether.
Good.
That was its way of auto detecting your browser.
I expect that. Google Calendar doesn't show you time zone. He might have dropped it, but it doesn't mean that he's not storing it.
Yeah, it's true.
So maybe we should ask. Reminds me of working with human developers.
Look at that.
Wow.
No responses yet. All right, I'm going to send this to you.
All right.
And I know there's a chat feature.
You kind of have oh yeah, it's in the bottom right, not where all the buttons are, under my picture, under your picture.
There we go. All right.
Okay. You shared it with me, and I would see other people's responses if there were some.
Oh, and it picked up America, Los Angeles. Neat. Yeah,
How do you know? Okay, I got your response.
Nice. That looks pretty awesome.
So it does. Now, when are we going to have the barbecue and potluck? And are you cooking? That's what I want to know.
Absolutely. I'll have to send you a time picker invite.
You did send me a time picker invite. Are you saying your invite lied?
No, we'll do it. Can you be here the 21st tomorrow?
Sounds good. It's
the
Friday.
availability for me.
I've got no job. I got nothing to do. I'm driving over.
Excellent. Yeah.
And just in time, 29 tests have passed. And not only do we have the app, we have a test suite. Writing documentation. Now you have no more excuses for avoiding it.
We'll see what kind of README it ends up writing.
You know, Claude makes really pretty ASCII diagrams. Have you ever seen one?
I think I've seen a couple.
You can tell it. You know, you can tell Claude things while it's running. It'll get to them.
It keeps telling me about the use by the way to ask a quick side question without interrupting it. I know if I just type something and press enter, it usually cues it until it's done.
This is a cool world we live
in. I think it does need some UI stuff.
This is not bad though.
No, as a first go, it's pretty cool. I like all of that. It's just when you first go to the thing, if like the first thing you want to do is add a response, having to scroll all the way there kind of sucks. It looks like it's pushed, so let's go take a look at what that fancy new README.
Look at all that. Installation on Sprite right there.
Yeah. Well, that is looking real great, and I'm enjoying the app. I would probably go through this more to figure out what I wanted to change, if anything, with the UI. But as a first start of getting this going in like an hour, I think this is great.
What an interesting, wonderful world we live in.
Yep. Well, I guess I'm ready to go. Thank you for doing this podcast and show and tell kind of thing with me. I enjoy getting to spend time with you each week.
Well, thank you, Kate. I'm honored. And we will build something else next week.